Special products of binomials. Our objective is to find special products of binomials. Why learn this? You can use special products to find areas such as the area of a deck around a pond. So let's start with a perfect square trinomial. It is a trinomial that is the result of squaring a binomial. So say you had a plus b and that quantity squared. The perfect trinomial would be a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. So if you were to have written this out as a plus b times a plus b, you would simplify it to get to here. Same with if you had a subtraction. So say you had a minus b and that quantity squared. If you were to multiply out a minus b times a minus b, you would end up with a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. Both of these are perfect square trinomials. So let's practice finding products in the form of a plus b, that quantity squared. So you have a binomial that's to the second power, and you're adding, so you're going to have your first term squared, so x squared, and then you're going to have 2 times your first term and your second term here, plus your b squared. And then you can just simplify. So we have x squared, and then we have 2 times x times 4, which is 8x, and then 4 squared, which is 16. Let's try this next one. So our first term, we have that is squared. So we have 3x squared plus 2 times the first term here, which is 3x, times the second term, so 2y, plus our second term squared, so 2y squared. And then we simply simplify. So 3x squared is really 9x squared. And then we have 2 times 3x times 2y. So we have 2 times 3 times 2, which is 12. So we have positive 12. And then we've only got one x and one y, so we're just going to write x and y. And then we have this quantity 2y squared, which is 4y squared. Alright, so let's step it up a notch. So we still have an addition, it's still a binomial that's being squared. So the same rule still applies. It's still going to be that a squared plus 2 times ab plus b squared. But now you have a power to a power at some point. So we're going to have 4 squared plus 2 times our a and our b value plus our s squared squared. And then we can simplify. So 4 squared gives us 16. And then we have 2 times 4 times s squared, which is going to be 8s squared. And then we have this s squared quantity squared again. So a power to a power, we multiply. So plus s to the 4th. 2 times 2 is 4. Take a moment and pause the video and see if you can complete D. When you return to the video, the answer will be revealed below. And there you have it. So now let's try finding products in the form of a minus b squared. So it follows the same pattern that we were doing here, only instead of it being plus 2 times ab, it's now going to be minus 2 times ab. Everything else stays the same. So we're going to have x squared minus, instead of plus, 2 times our first term and our second term here, plus, and then we're going to just take that second term and square it. Once you have this, all you have to do is simplify. So we end up with x squared minus 10x plus 25. Let's try b. So we're going to have our 6a, so that first term is going to be squared, and we're going to subtract 2 times that first term there, and times the second term, plus this second term squared. So we have 6a squared, which is 36a, and then we have negative 2 times 6 times 1, which is negative 12a, and then, well, 1 squared is simply 1. So let's step it up a notch. So we've got the binomial 4c minus 3d, and that's going to be squared. We're still going to follow that same pattern that we've been following. So now we're going to have this ac squared minus 2 times our first term, and then our second term, plus this 3d squared. And now we can combine like terms and simplify. So we have 16c squared, and then we have negative 2 times 4 times 3, which is going to give us negative 24cd, and then we have plus 9d squared. Take a moment and pause the video and see if you can complete D on your own. When you return to the video, the answer will be revealed below. And there you have it. Now let's look at a difference of two squares. A binomial of the form a squared minus b squared is called a difference, hence the subtraction sign, of two squares. A squared, b squared. So the sequence of words basically describes what you're looking at. Now, if you have a plus b times a minus b, you're going to end up with a squared minus b squared in the end. Let's practice. So, we have a difference with two binomials here. So, therefore, we can go x squared minus 6 squared, which is really x squared minus 36. Let's work on b. So we end up with x squared, so that first term squared, and then our second term squared. So we have minus this 2y squared. So if we simplify, we end up with x to the fourth minus, so we got 2 squared, which is 4, and y squared, which is simply y squared. Take a moment and pause the video and see if you can get C on your own. So we square the first term, square the second term, and it's a difference, so we subtract, and we've got 49 minus n squared. As a recap, special products of binomials. So we have our perfect square trinomial. We've got a plus b, that quantity squared, and that will leave you with a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. So if it's an addition here, it's going to be an addition with your 2ab. Then we have a minus b, that quantity squared. The only difference being that this is going to be a subtraction sign. And the other special product of binomials that we learned today was a difference of two squares. So that's when you have a plus b times a minus b, And since they're different, you're going to have a difference of 2 squares. So a squared minus b squared. And that ends our video lesson on special products of binomials.